Good morning. Welcome to another video. Today I am going to explain agarose gel electrophoresis. So the gel electrophoresis is nothing but the separation of the biomolecules under the influence of electric field, so that the biomolecules such as the DNA, RNA and proteins can be separated by the agarose gel electrophoresis. For DNA and RNA, we are using the horizontal gel electrophoresis like this, and for protein we are using the vertical gel electrophoresis units. Now I will introduce you to the electrophoresis unit. The electrophoresis unit consists of the electrophoretic tank, the gel tray and this comb that is used for the creation of the wells inside the gel, and it is also consists of this power pack. So this electrophoretic unit consists of the two electrodes, that is the cathode and anode. So as the DNA and RNA are the negatively charged molecule due to the phosphate groups, they will move from this negatively charged cathode to the positively charged anode. So this is how the separation happens when these electrodes are connected to the power pack. So actually we have to pour the buffer, so that the buffer is like having different constituents. Like this is a TAE buffer, or we can also use TBE buffer. TAE buffer stands for tris acetate buffer, which consists of tris HCl, acetate and EDTA. So the tris will maintain the pH around 8. Then acetate will act as a charged ions, which will move from the cathode to anode, and the EDTA will chelate the ions which are required for the enzymes activities such as the DNases and RNases. That's why they get inhibited. That's why the degradation of our DNA and RNA won't take place inside this buffer. That's why it is used in agarose gel electrophoresis. And in case of the TBE buffer, the borate is act as a charge carrier. Now we are going to prepare the agarose gel for the separation of the DNA, genomic DNA. So for the separation of the genomic DNA, we can use 0.8 to 1% of the agarose gel. So depending on the gel tray that we are having, according to that we have to prepare the gel. So in our lab, the gel tray having the maximum size of 100, means like we can prepare 100 ml of gel. So 1% of 100 ml agarose gel, I have to use 100 ml of TBE buffer. So I have measured here 100 ml of TBE buffer, and also I need 1 gram of agarose powder. So now I am going to mix this agarose powder in a conical flask with this buffer, and then we have to melt this agarose powder in microwave oven until the clear transparent solution obtained. Now our gel is ready. I have melted in a microwave oven until now this is the clear transparent solution, so that now we can use this gel for pouring purpose. But now it is very hot, and still now I haven't added the ET bear. So after pinna bearable, gel becomes pinna bearable or like bearable on hands, then we can add the ethidium bromide into gel for the visualization. So this is the DNA visualization dye we have to use, that is ethidium bromide, and it is very carcinogenic. That's why I am wearing the gloves at all the times. So it bonds between the bases of the DNA. So it is called as intercalating dye. So this is useful for the visualization of the DNA in UV light. That's why we have to add in a gel. So we have to add in 0.5 microgram per ml of concentration in a gel. Now our gel has been cooled down, so I am going to add the ETBr. So I have told the concentration of ETBr that we have to add in a gel. We have to mix it properly. For pouring of the gel in a gel tray or preparation of the gel, we have to place the gel tray here, and we have to fix this, tighten this, and then we can place our comb here like this, and then we can pour the gel, or after pouring the gel we can also place the comb. Now I'm going to pour the gel in a gel tray, and then comb I have already placed. So we have to pour it from the one side, and if and avoid the formation of the bubbles. If bubbles comes, we can break it by the micropipette tips, no problem, but the bubble should not come. Now our gel is solidified, so I am just removing the gel and I am keeping in a electrophoretic tank. Then we can remove the comb now itself or after pouring the buffer, but after pouring buffer it is very convenient, means like we can remove the comb easily. And then I am pouring the buffer, that is TAE buffer I have prepared. So we have to pour the buffer in such a way that our gel should be submerged inside the buffer. Now I am just pre-running the gel to check whether my buffer is working or not, that I have prepared. So now this is power pack that we have to use to means like for current. So we can set the current according to the size of electrophoretic tank. So generally it is used as a 5 to 10 volt per centimeter square. So I will set it as 70 volts. Then we can see the bubbles here in the tank. That means the electrophoresis means like buffer is working fine and the electrophoresis has been started well. So now we have to load the DNA into the wells, into the gel that we have prepared, so that we cannot load the DNA as it is, because the DNA don't have any color and like that. So we can't see the movement of the DNA through the gel. So for that visualization or the tracking the electrophoresis where it has been reached, that's why we have to use one dye that is called as bromophenol blue. So the bromophenol blue here I have prepared here in a lab itself. You can get the ready-made ones from the labs also. So that this bromophenol blue contains the dyes, two dyes mainly, bromophenol blue, xylene cyclone, and also it contains the tris-SCl to maintain the pH, as well as the EDTA to chelate the ions, which inhibits the enzymes such as DNases and RNases, so that our sample like DNA and RNA will remain intact. That's it. And one more important thing, here we are using the glycerol or sucrose in the bromophenol blue or tracking dye. So the purpose of using the sucrose and glycerol, they are having the high density. So when we are loading our samples into the well, so it should go deeper into the wells so that it won't come out. This happens due to the glycerol and sucrose. That's why we have to use the glycerol sucrose, which is having high density. Now I am going to mix the dye. I am going to mix the dye with the DNA sample. So I have 6x DNA loading dye. So I am going to add DNA as well as the dye, and then I will spin it down to mix the DNA and the loading dye. So while adding the low volume such as dyes and all, we have to add on the corner. And now I am going to add the DNA into each PCR tube so that I can mix with the dye I have loaded earlier. Means I have added the DNA with the dye, so we have to mix it properly. That's why I am just spinning down all the PCR tubes so that the DNA will mix with the dye properly. Short spin is required only, so I am just giving short spin. Now I am going to load my DNA samples into each well. So plus I am going to add this DNA ladder. This is having the size of 1 kilobase pairs. So that I am going to use in the first blend to analyze the other DNA samples. I have loaded all the samples. Now I'm going to start the electrophoresis. Now you can see the bubbles are coming. That means the electrophoresis has been started. We have to stop the electrophoresis when the diaphragm reaches the 3-pole, so that we have to make sure that the DNA won't run out completely from the gel. So that's why I'm stopping the gel run at 3/4 when the diaphragm has reached the 3/4. So that after that we can check the quality of the DNA by using true instruments. First is we can use the UV transilluminator and also we can use the gel documentation system, which is a very advanced machine. So actually we have the gel documentation, gel doc we are having. So we are observing our gel under the gel doc. So I will demonstrate how to take pictures in gel doc and how to analyze the gel.